Hey there, guys. How you doing? Merry Christmas. It's Ice 9 and it's late Christmas Eve. Wanted to do this video earlier, but stuff going on with the family just couldn't get to it until now. But we've got a lot to go through. First thing we're going to do this quick free set for the 77th time. And I'll probably get a silver player. That's usually what I've been getting, which you put in the gold out of position. And here we go. Get another Eric Reed. And I've got all 32 teams, and I'm still holding out hope that EA comes out with a set that uses like 5 of each snowflake, because they got the different teams, so something that uses that. I'm holding out hope, but my hopes are diminishing as time goes on. It just had different teams because it looks cool, I guess. But we have our second master player for Ultimate Freeze, and we have our highest rated best quarterback in the game, especially if you like to throw from the pocket. We've got a Brett Favre card. It's first time I remember him being in Madden Mobile. I don't think he was in Season 1. Matter of fact, I know he wasn't in Season 1, and he wasn't here last season either. So they're signed up with him, and we could see this card here. First thing that sticks out is that 99 throw power, and all the throw accuracies are over 90. 94 in the case of the deep ball, which is excellent. They didn't give Favre they didn't give him any favors in terms of mobility. Apparently, this is the later on in his career Favre card with 75 speed, 77 acceleration. He was faster than that in his prime. He wasn't real strong. This card's not real strong either, which is not accurate. He was very strong in terms of a quarterback, but still, from a throwing point of view, for somebody who likes to play with a Tom Brady card or play from the pocket, which is definitely something I do. I move around a little bit, but I typically don't scramble much or anything of that nature. So this is the perfect card for me. It is a double boosted card too. So +2 awareness, +2 strength, and these are two of the best boosts in the game. Unfortunately, they are also two of the most redundant boosts in the game. There's a lot of strength boosters out there. There's a lot of awareness boosters out there between the tier 7s and Urlacher and then other cards. There's just a lot of awareness boosts in the game. Awareness arguably being the best boost in the game. Really affects defense more, though. Probably speed, I'd say, is the best boost in the game. But awareness is definitely a close second. Very good boost. And, this card's got it. So over the Derek Card Blitz card that came out now less than a month ago, it seems like a month is an eternity in Madden, and we'll see how obsolete that card is right now and what a good deal that card really is at the auction house in just a second. So, this card, I would say if you're at a point where you are trying to do these out of position elites and you're kind of picking which one of these 3 sets to do, first of all, I would say best impact that you could have is if you don't have an elite defensive unit. This pack one is definitely a good one to do. And we're going to go into a little bit more of this in just a second, but this is an interesting defensive unit, and it kind of is a different way to build a defensive scheme. Counters all plays by 8% is basically what it does. The +5 awareness boost too, but that's not as important as it counters everything at 8%. So no hard counters in there. And I've been one of the proponents of the hard counters since I've moved to a defense that uses mostly hard counters. I think it's been more effective. But when you're looking at this, and we're going to have to go back into it, we're going to cover this now because this is kind of important. And here, let's, since we're here, I was just checking this out. Look at this Derek Carr card. Now, I sold it. I did the set, sold it for just under $2 million, I believe. And now he is going for under 700,000, I do believe. Yep, 690,000 right there. You can kind of see the stats versus Favre. More mobile, for sure. Stronger. and just broke his leg. Unfortunately, that kind of sucks for the Raiders. That's exactly the wrong time for that to happen. But we could kind of look. Throw accuracies are all over 90, which is very good. Throw power's 93, which isn't as good as Favre, but it's still pretty good. So if you like to run with the quarterback, this card now becomes a much better value. This is basically the turbo Carson Wentz card, and now the pricing is a little bit more in line with maybe what it should be because it's not the best quarterback in the game anymore. Still a really good card. So for Raiders fans like my buddy Papa Raider in my league, rejoice and take advantage. Here's your time to buy this card. It's definitely a good deal now at under 700,000 coins. Awareness boost is pretty good. Now let us go into, let's check out Elite. Let's actually reset this. We're going to check out Elite Collectibles for Ultimate Free. So we've got this pack defensive unit here. I've seen it going in the low, under 1.5 million range. And darn it, there's not another card in there. But there are new game plan cards that go along with this pack. And they're very, very rare. They're going in the mid, like 5 millions to 10 million. And they're kind of similar, and they would kind of work well, I think, with this defensive unit. And, they counter, for example, long pass plays 10% and then play action by 8%. So if you have enough of these type of soft counters, you could really create a very unpredictable, disruptive type of defense and a different kind of thing. You could counter plays now, theoretically, by about 50%. So you're not countering one play, maybe at all. There's no hard counters on there, but usually how I play and how a lot of people play head-to-head is, you look to find plays that are not countered, So PAFL middle, just as an example of a play, if that's not countered, you take your coverage. If the safety or linebacker plays him back, the tight end, usually you go to the tight end along the sideline. That play, then you throw it either underneath, or if he goes and blows past the defender, then maybe you throw it over the top for a big play. So you could run that, and you get that in just a couple plays. You could score. And one thing that EA has done is they have made it about mid-November. They made a change to the game, and they've made it easier to run offense, especially passing, especially in the higher difficulty levels like Hall of Fame. And how they did that is they've improved the receivers' route running, which they nerfed actually, it was 2 summers ago, the first season. They really nerfed the route running. I don't know what they did, but, all of a sudden receivers started running garbage routes. It really favored defenses, and it's been like that ever since. Well, now it's changed back. Route running's a little bit better. Avoidance of a defender has definitely gotten better. The receivers and tight ends have gotten better in terms of running around people more cleanly and not getting hung up on the defender, and they're running better routes. Also, they've made defenders just a little bit less overpowered and with a little bit less ESP, where they just come out of nowhere and make plays on you. So assuming that you make a good read and make the right kind of throw to a receiver, for example, if a safety is in back of the receiver, you throw more of a semi kind of bullet type pass in front of the safety. You don't throw it over the top, allowing the safety to contest the play. And if the receiver runs past and gets good separation, you throw over the top. Now, this Favre card is going to be the best for the deep ball, but here is what I would say about that. So even with the 94 throw accuracy deep, the one play PAFL middle, for people who run that play, when the tight end goes past the defender, the defender comes up and plays up, kind of like how Smash was last year, and the tight end just blows right by him. that'd be a good time to throw an over-the-top pass. The problem is a lot of times with Wentz, with other quarterbacks that I've used in the past, they throw it out of bounds a lot. If you put any arc on the football at all, they just throw it out of bounds. Favre does that too. This is kind of EA's way of nerfing that play a little bit. So you want to still, with Favre, take a little bit of arc off the ball. Of course, being careful depending on what coverage is, but throwing, basically just throwing the bomb along the sideline and putting all the arc on the ball is not necessarily the best way to go with Favre, even with the better throw accuracy. Now, for plays like HB option, Hail Mary, and things like that, if the receiver blows by the defender and gets decent separation, then that 99 throw power, you throw it over the top if the safety comes up. So that's just a good way that you can use the card. But again, as opposed to the Sanders card here, the Favre card's more impactful in gameplay. Sanders boosts are very good. Agility boost and acceleration boosts are good. Even if the acceleration boost is all over the place on teams, it's still a good one. 95 speed gets our attention, very agile. Good catch that boosts up to 99. Good jump, but against bigger defenders at higher difficulty levels, Sanders has a hard time holding on to it in traffic and catching the ball at all if he's got like a Sherman or somebody like that on him. So now we're going to go into our next thing here. So we're going to kind of show off the team, and I got Kuechly, so I'll be showing off that. But here's the Favre card and how it boosts up. Getting really hard to increase the overall of the team, especially with my special teams, which I have a gameplay type kicker, and I could put a better punter in there that boosts kick power, but I just don't because I don't want him, I don't want the touchbacks with Bailey. Bailey's been pretty good about keeping it out of the end zone, at least a good amount of the time, and he's still got enough leg to hit longer field goals, which is important in head-to-head. Still got the two headliners here, kick returner and punt returner. Not very impactful positions, although when your kick returner fumbles, it always sucks. Smallwood has been fairly reliable for me. Just haven't replaced him as of yet. I'm sure his time will come, but that makes it harder to get up to a 98, 99 overall. And then if we look at the defensive unit here, we got a couple positions which are not boosting to 99 even with all the boosts on this team. One is Calais Campbell with the strength boost that's becoming very redundant. The reason why I play him at this defensive end, by the way, as opposed to Fowler, is because this is the defensive end that either bites or does not bite on play action. And I've found with his play recognition, I think that Campbell will be better than Fowler at that side, whereas, the defensive end might bite on the play action and start heading, the other way. I think Campbell will be a little bit better as far as that respect, but he doesn't boost up to 99. He's pretty darn slow. We got the new Howie Long Legend card out today. That's very expensive, the set base, but he doesn't boost up there. And Linval Joseph doesn't boost up there. And thing with this card, it's pretty good. Play recognition, block shed, strength. It's got a tackle boost, but that's pretty redundant now that we have Von Miller and Kuechly here. And we can kind of see in Kuechly here, and we're going to go into Kuechly in just a second. Finally did showdown. I got the card for the Carolina win on Monday. Had 98 wins. And I know, and after Carolina win, we were just waiting for these to redeem, and they finally redeemed last night. And I got Kuechly. I decided to keep him, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. Hit power is very good. He's a good coverage middle linebacker, and he's the best middle linebacker in the game, I think, even besides the boost, which is kind of redundant. But he's fairly fast. He boosts up very well. the coverages are good. So he's a good coverage middle linebacker. Block shed, I believe, is 93. So it's just a solid card that you should be able to get some months of gameplay out of. A 98 middle linebacker, and that's why I kept him. Put Urlacher in the 3-4 for the boost, acceleration and awareness. So that's where he is. And really to get this defense up, so I got to get rid of Joseph and Campbell. The boosts are kind of redundant. They're not as needed. So maybe go to some legends or some other cards. But I'm just kind of waiting at this time until I see cards that I really like that are going for coins that aren't completely ridiculous. Eventually, this Thomas Davis Sr. card, the coverage is really good on the card. But I will say that he has not showed up in film a lot for me, and he's showing up in film less and less. And I think the problem is he's just not fast. The speed and acceleration are just not simply good enough, even with the good coverage, to keep up. So it's a good card, but it's getting a little long in the tooth, and eventually going to have to replace him. I did go ahead and pick up Rhodes again, and this is what I found with this Rhodes card after playing him a lot in Hall of Fame head-to-head. This card is really, really good. The coverage is, he covers very, very well. One thing that you'll notice at the higher levels at Hall of Fame is that even a 95 speed wide receiver like Deion Sanders usually cannot get loose from the defensive back. In this guy's case, what I found is he covers very well. He makes a lot of picks, particularly in zone coverage. He just has this kind of thing for being in the wrong place at the wrong time in the zone and playing underneath passes. He's just really a good player. So even besides the +5 acceleration boost, the 87 speed I found is not that big of a problem, at least at this point, and the boost is very good. So I went ahead and picked him up for cheaper than what I sold him for a couple weeks ago. And then the Sherman League card here, once again, I mean, this is a very good card. I put him in dime. I've seen people play him effectively at corner 1 and 2, though, too. 85 speed seems like it's really low. And at the lower difficulty levels, I think that shows up more where the receiver, like a Deion, will just blow right past this guy at points. But he's very tall, and he's got very high jumps, so he makes a lot of plays. The reason I like him at dime, because he's very strong, good jump, really good catch, very good zone coverage. So this is a guy who is at least going to make more plays on Gronk because he's taller, because he's got good jump, and because he's strong. So he can contest, and that's why, along with the awareness boost and the fact that he's free, that I'm still running him there. On the offensive end, with all the boosters on the team, offensive line is all 99s now. Individually, these guys will kind of start dropping out, and we'll get better blockers in there as they come along. But right now, I'll just run all MVPs on the offensive line. Hopefully, we'll get better halfbacks. I heard there's an Ezekiel Elliott Rookie of the Year or rookie card that's kind of be coming out, a 95 Elliott card that'll be coming out around the new year. I'll take a look at that, but it sounds like with even how Elliott's gold card has been ridiculous this year, I don't know how many coins that card is going to go for. Reggie Bush has been good, but it's about time to replace him, and I can't wait to get rid of Eifert, I must say. There are some advantages to running a guy like Eifert and, playing him. A lot of times you can make plays to him on HB option or Hail Mary where the safety is going to be behind him because he's so slow. So that's in a way an advantage, having a slower wide receiver that way. But still, I would like somebody with more speed at that slot position. I don't know. Changes the way you got to play a little bit with a guy like this because he's just not going to get any separation whatsoever. You just have to hope that nobody plays underneath him, basically, is what it comes down to. But that does prove to be the case a lot, so that's why I'm still running him. He was free with an awareness boost, but he's somebody I'd like to get rid of as well, for sure. So that is basically it. Let's go into presents, though. we're going to go ahead and go into that because we get a new set for the presents. And there's quick freeze. Oh, actually, the present pack went away. Can't do them anymore. Can't do the presents anymore. But they had this thing where you could put 20 of the gold out of position players to get the presents. I didn't realize that was expiring. Maybe I should have done it at least once. The one thing it's really too late now, so there's no point in even talking about it. But presents, I have pulled some from Pro Packs, and there's not 14 of them. That is a glitch. Right now, I have basically half of this. So I have the present one from this morning, just so everybody gets a present. I have heard that's an 87 Brett Favre. I've got present 18, which, judging by the newspaper thing there, is a headliner. There's this present 16, which is a little bit of a rare one, I think. I don't know what those are, pills or footballs or something. I have no idea what that is. Present 12, I believe, is elite, out of position players for the Frozen. I've got 3 of those, I believe. That'll really help out with doing that pack defensive unit, which I definitely want to do. I did get present 11, which I have heard is AP, and you can kind of see right here the AP on there. So I'm hoping it's a really good AP card. I could really use a card like that. Even though those cards don't usually catch worth a damn, it would definitely be cool to have a good AP card. We'll definitely see how that one goes. Pulls in the presents are very, very tough. I've pulled millions in Pro Packs, and it just is really, really hard to pull one of these damn presents. That's for sure. EA is really, really stingy with them. It's just the way it is. But that is basically it. New Year's are right around the corner, and we'll have events for that. And then I think that for Ultimate Freeze, that we pretty much got what we got. We've got 2 weeks, over 2 weeks to do these. So that should give everybody a good amount of time to work on these sets and get one of the 3 items at least that they need, just working from normal stamina. That seems to be fully possible, and if you work on it at all, you should be able to get something out of this Ultimate Freeze thing. So that is my video for the day. Again, guys, Merry Christmas. I hope everybody has a great time with their families, and I hope you get some presents under your Madden mobile tree as well. Thanks for watching.